We've been looking through all of the potential free agents and trade candidates that the Suns can get on little to no money to help out next season, actually chasing a title. And for whatever reason, the majority of the names that keep popping up are former Suns. So we decided to look into a lot of these former Suns players, their current situations, what it would take to get them back, and what kind of fit they provide on this current iteration of the Phoenix Suns. Sando, let's start with Chris Paul, the biggest name. Does he fit? And could you see it happening?
Yeah, let's start with Chris Paul. Now, this all depends on whether or not he gets cut from the Warriors. They have until the 28th of this month, I believe, to decide whether or not they're going to take on that contract for the upcoming season. And so that has a timeline on it. We're going to see what happens. I had always asked the entire season, how different would this team look if we had CP3 rather than Bradley Beal? Because I keep comparing the two, because we did end up trading CP3 for Bradley Beal, and we could have saved a little bit more money. Now, we wouldn't have been all the way out of the apron, but we could have saved a little bit more money keeping CP3 rather than Bradley Beal. And I've always asked that the entire season, how different would this team look? We actually have a point guard. We wouldn't have to worry about Beal or Booker trading ball handling duties. We would have had a solid point guard. The one thing that me and you believed that this team needed, and I mean, let's be honest, with the news coming out, that's what James Jones believed that they needed. And so, yes, I do like the idea of Chris Paul coming back. Now, me and you have talked about this before. Would he really come back to the Suns on a minimum? Because that's literally all we can offer. Chances are, I don't think so. Probably not. I think he would more than likely go to one of the LA teams, the Lakers probably being the one that he goes to. But as far as the prospect goes, yes, I know he's 39 years old. I know he's injury prone. I know he has issues, but still, his leadership, his headiness, his ability to find the right player and distribute the ball is all super valuable, especially with this team, the way it's constructed now. And we're title chasing, essentially. So, yes, a player like CP3 could definitely help.
There's no way that I could deny that the Suns need Chris Paul's services. I would hope that they could get him back on a minimum if he's going to go anywhere on a minimum. But it is likely that he'll just rectify what a lot of people think was a wrong that was done to him earlier in his career when he was denied the trade to the Lakers back when Kobe was there. He's lived in Los Angeles. I believe he still has residency there. His kids live there. He spent a lot of time with the Clippers, so LA is really his second home or first home. It's just difficult to imagine him going back to the Suns after they moved off of him. He does seem like he has a little bit of a vengeful spirit. And this is also all assuming that he's forced to take a veteran minimum, which someone might want him to come in somewhere, the Spurs, and give him just a little bit more. Now, there are three other point guards that have us fascinated with a return. If you could only pick one between Cam Payne, Jevon Carter, and Aaron Holiday, which would it be and why?
Between the three of those point guards that you mentioned, obviously, if people have followed this channel for the last 3 years, know that I absolutely loved Aaron Holiday when he was on this team. I absolutely thought that Monty Williams did not give him the proper playing time or even a chance to prove himself. Monty did all this talking about Aaron Holiday being a Holiday and you want that kind of guy on our team, yet never gave him the time of day to show any minutes, especially meaningful minutes in that playoff run, which we both thought that he could help a whole lot. When it comes between these three, I'm going to go with Aaron Holiday. Jevon Carter would have to be a trade situation because he has one more year left. And so, I mean, it's not, you can't overcome. Like, you could literally trade Nas Little for him if you really wanted to. The salaries match, basically. So it's not like a stretch to go get Jevon Carter, but still it requires to move assets. I don't think it's something that I would want to do, especially when this team has to house 14 players on this roster, at least, you know what I mean? And so that's not a route that I would go anyway. I'd rather just add a veteran player than trade one for one, if that makes any sense to you. Then that leaves me with Aaron Holiday and Cam Payne. Now, Cam Payne we're familiar with. He played decent in Philadelphia, but Aaron Holiday also played decent in Houston. And I would argue played a lot better in Houston, in my opinion. And so for me, I like what Aaron Holiday has to bring. Heady, makes the right passes, shoots from the 3-point stripe pretty well. I think plays defense. Let's talk about that because that's going to be really important for this upcoming season. And so absolutely, Aaron Holiday on a minimum is a deal for me. And so that's where I would lean.
It's hard for me to pick which one of the three I want the most. I'll just say this, and this may come across as greedy, but I want 2 out of 3. I think that they should strive to get 2 out of 3. Campaign for me is going to be probably the most important because he is the best of them all offensively. And then you get one of them because both of them are better on defense. So you get the offense from Campaign, the familiarity of him having run the offense with Booker, and then you get one of those defensive guys, Javon Carter or Aaron Holiday. I mean, hey, I'll take all 3. But if I can get 2 of these guys, I would feel like the Suns have officially fixed their point guard problem, because that's all they need to do is get a couple of guys that can steady the ship.
I absolutely love the idea of bringing Campaign and Aaron Holiday both in to this team, to this roster. I feel like that's a win-win. It gives you 2 ball handlers that you absolutely could use. How many times, especially whenever we had the injury issues with Beal sitting, how many times were we like, man, we need another ball handler. We absolutely need another one. I think this will remedy that. Also, once again, I can't overstate the fact that how familiar we are with Campaign. He already knows how to play with Book. That's going to go well. And Aaron Holiday's headiness again, and defense, great fits. I did not like last year when we had to force Grayson Allen to bring the ball up the court, or an Okogie to bring the ball up the court. It is just not good for us. And I feel like these 2 players would definitely prevent that from happening. Now, Gabe, speaking of these next 2 former Suns, now one is an athletic wing and another one would be a stretch 4. Let's just talk about Torrey Craig and Dario Saric.
I hate to be that guy that wants all of those former Suns to come back, or, wants all of his former team players to come back, because it's kind of embarrassing. It's easy to make fun of. It's like, oh, you just, love former players. But I do. I want both of these guys back. We're talking about reassembling parts of a culture and team that did great things. And these parts we're talking about were working parts, and it's proven. So you add these guys back in, you add a wing defender, if you can afford him, Torrey Craig, who can shoot the 3. You guys tell me in the comments, do you trust Royce O'Neal shooting 3s or Torrey Craig more? For me, it's kind of a wash. And a guy that you can play the 4 or the 5, another connector, another really good passer, and Dario Saric. These are all guys that the Suns can afford and have proven they can win with. So what am I missing exactly?
When it comes to Torrey Craig, I'm glad you brought up the Royce O'Neal comparison, because I'm in the thinking that you're going to sign him back with bird rights. Right. So my thinking is, what's the point of them bringing Torrey Craig? You already have a Royce O'Neal. But after watching our season last year, I'm kind of now in the mindset of you can't have enough depth, especially if you're trying to make a deep playoff run or run throughout the season, or be able to win enough games to not have to play a crazy matchup in the beginning, right? You're going to need that depth. And so now I'm thinking, okay, Torrey Craig's maybe not such a bad idea in case Royce goes down, or maybe you just need another wing, like you said. That always works out. I was always in the thought that we had Josh Okogie, we had Nas Little. That should be more than enough. Even a David Roddy, right? I want to see these young guys, and I still do want to see those young guys play more and see how they fit. But at the same time, you can't have enough depth, especially if what they say is true. They're looking for athletic wings. Torrey Craig fits that as well. And I'm kind of with you. I don't want to be the guy that wants to continue to bring back former Suns. I mean, I don't even think it's a competition. Dario Saric, Eubanks. Dario Saric, Eubanks. You're definitely going to take Dario Saric.
Dario has always been a better small ball 5 option than Drew Eubanks ever was. Tell us what you guys think in the comments, and let us know, are there any former Suns that we missed in this video?